Yeah, mustard is tough to get out. There it is. It looks good.
Yeah.
Did a great job with that.
That's
What do
great.
you think?
That's great.
Good?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Dan.
Oh, you're welcome, Dan. Hey, oh, by the way, you know where Keith's sitting?
He's right over in the corner.
All right, I got his stuff here, too.
Basketball fans, you can't beat this. The Chicago Bulls are the best ever. Enjoy all the record-breaking excitement in this thrill-packed video. The Chicago Bulls, 1996 NBA champions, plus this limited edition SI commemorative. Both are free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Your free video lets you run with the Bulls as they rewrite the record books with a flourish and style all their own. Plus, this leather-bound, gold-embossed, individually numbered SI Collector's Edition is a championship memento you'll treasure forever. Get this exclusive Bulls Collector's Package free when you order 54 issues of SI for only $1.48 an issue. Save over 55% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Call now to get the Unbeatable Bulls Championship Pack free from SI. A sports experience like no other. Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
Welcome the judge, Bill Pito. And speaking of winless against winless, well, something had to. Cardinals, Saints, is this a religious game or what?
Yeah, well, they've got to do something to get things turned around. The Saints' last winning season was 1992. The Cards haven't had a winning season since 1984. That was in St. Louis. Arizona coach Vince Tobin shuffles his cards for this one, starting Kent Graham at QB in place of Boomer Esiason. During the week, Esiason asked Graham to go out to dinner and made Graham pick up the check. Just Graham's 5th career start in 5 years. And Graham and the Cards up 3-zip after one. Second quarter, Saints second and goal on the 10. Ray Zellers with the ball. Bernard Wilson gets an arm on it. Simeon Rice, the #1 draft pick, recovers. Zellers was starting in place of Mario Bates in the Saints' backfield. Saints first play next possession. Jim Everett goes deep, intended for Michael Haynes, and Ronnie Brantford comes up with the INT. Then, Cards up 6-zip. Ernest Dixon with the pressure. Jeff Feagles, dicey. He dropped it. Brian Jones picks it up. Brian Jones has got a touchdown. 7-6 Saints, Tommy.
Yeah, and actually looks like this kick is blocked by Dixon. It's not. Feagles realized that it was going to be blocked. He dropped the ball underneath. Dixon goes over. Just a ball laying on the ground, and Jones picks it up and takes it in.
Graham then turns it around in the second half as the Saints get the touchdown off the special teams. Graham able to turn things around in the second half. He goes over the middle here to Rob Moore at midfield. In the game, Moore caught 4 passes. Then on the 3rd and 17, it's Graham. Watch Moore. Great catch for the touchdown. 12-7 Cards. Then they go for 2. Graham rode in. It's deflected. Moore says, thank you very much. 14-7 Cards. And Boomer says, you know what, Kent, next time I'll pay for dinner. You see the numbers for Graham in the ball game. Still 14-7 Cards early in the 4th. Introducing LaShawn Johnson, the 3rd-year man from Northern Illinois. 56 yards, his first career touchdown. Welcome to the National Football League. 21-7 Cards. Next Cardinals possession. It's Johnson again. This time, LaShawn goes 70 yards. He picked up 214 yards rushing in the game. The Cards as a team, 267 yards rushing. They averaged just 52 yards in their first 3 games. That was the worst in the league. Vince Tobin, his first win as an NFL head coach, as the Cards win it 28-14. So Johnson, 21 carries for 214 yards. That's a new Cardinals franchise record. Johnson had just 97 career yards coming into the game. Cards now 1-3. The Saints 0-4. And Chris, just over 34,000 at home to watch the Saints. Their smallest home crowd since 1980.
Amazing. And they got to the 0-5 start last year. Some things never change. Well, Bill, shall we move on to New York from the ridiculous to the sublime? 0-3 Giants against the 0-3 Jets. Well, we've seen everything in the New York papers this week. It's a good thing the Yankees were in a pennant race, kind of dull this game a little bit. You couldn't call it the toilet bowl, could you? Because unless you moved it to Shea Stadium in Flushing, New York. However, you could call it the Gasser in Gotham. And it was a Derek and the Dominoes day. Let it rain. And that was fitting for the Giants and the Jets. First quarter, Rodney Hampton, he couldn't hang on to the ball in the slop, although Rodney had a pretty good game running the ball. He would fumble again. Late second quarter, Dave Brown had it. Chris Callaway, there's a rare touchdown. There they go, 7-3. The G-Men. But from then on, just watch. Neil O'Donnell to Webster Slaughter. Incomplete. O'Donnell to Keyshawn. 2 plays later, O'Donnell. But it's picked up by Armstead, but he fumbles. He's tripped by Wankerbeck. He fumbles. Richie Anderson recovers. Amani Toomer. It bounces up Charles Way. Jumbo says, I kind of seen this from both sides. 7-3 Giants at the half. O'Donnell. Pump fake. No. So we bring in, O'Donnell doesn't work. It's time to summon Joe Namath. A pass to Sauer. A pass to Maynard. A pass to Snell. A pass to Boozer. He passed to George Knock. But it didn't work. Meanwhile, Dave Brown. Whoop, 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 whoop. Meanwhile, Dave Brown. Whoop. Meanwhile, Mike Horan. Punt. Quebec drops it. Douglas recovers for the Giants. It's a field goal to the 4th quarter. The hard rain was going to fall on the Jets' head. Raindrops kept falling on their helmet. Now look at this. A perfect punt. It's down to the 1-yard line. Just let it go. I hope Alex Van Dyke takes it in the end zone. What? Howard drops it. Oh, man. Richie Kotite, what a day. Dan Reeves, what a day. Neil O'Donnell trying to summon the biggest drive in Jet history. No. What could they see? What could they do? Sack. And I could give you more details. I don't think you want them. Congratulations to the Giants. They won it. They beat the Jets by the count of 13-6 on a day that both teams struggled to get barely over 200 yards in offense. Give Rodney the nod. At least he gained 81 yards. But, Tom, outside of hilarity, some of us used to sit at Shea Stadium. And it's one of the sorriest episodes in Jet history.
Well, fairly inept play on both sides of the ball, but I think that as we watch Dave Brown, you can see some room for growth there. Dan Reeves managed to get him out of the pocket, give him a chance to be accurate. When you look at the other side of the football, anything that the Jets may have gained in their loss last week to Miami, they lost this week to the Giants. Just totally inept play, and I think you can focus specifically on the quarterback position with Neil O'Donnell. Even when he had time to throw the football, he just didn't seem to be able to throw accurately to any of his receivers downfield. And Richie Kotite, who we've both been fans of Richie Kotite for a long time, but Richie Kotite proclaimed this to be a must-win game. So I don't know exactly where he goes from here.
Nowhere to go but up. A lot of work to be done on both sides, that's for sure. As we go inside the numbers, LaShawn Johnson did the work to get the Cardinals off the schneid. Not only did he do that, he set a Cardinal team franchise record. Now, that's not Arizona or Phoenix Cardinals. That includes the St. Louis Cardinals. That includes the Chicago Cardinals. They've been in business since they started this league. LaShawn Johnson had 214 yards on the day. And that breaks the old mark set the first year the Cardinals were in St. Louis by John David Crow of 203. O.J. Anderson, yes, Giant fans, he was somewhere before he was a Giant, was a Cardinal in 1979. It beats like Charlie Trippi and all the old Chicago Cardinals. Congratulations to LaShawn Johnson.
Inside the Numbers is brought to you by Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be.
When we return, Broncos-Chiefs. Now we go 3-0 against 3-0. Derek Thomas, would he make the life miserable for John Elway? Kevin Green. I think he and the Panthers made life miserable for Steve Young. Season game. Well, 20 months later, they have players. They're undefeated. And the Panthers have the 49ers number. Unbelievable. Here we go from Ericsson Stadium, a battle of 2-0 San Francisco and 2-0 Carolina, and it's Steve Berline playing for the injured Kerry Collins. The screen pass to the youngster Winslow Oliver. He can motor on the opening drive, picks up 25 yards. On the same drive, 1st and 10 of the 19. Berline. Hey, Wesley Walls could be a Pro Bowler this year. 19-yard touchdown. First drive, 7-0 Panthers. First time in 29 games the Niners have given up a TD on the opening drive. Harris, Barton, and the offensive front for the Niners had a tough day, Tom.
Yeah, Kevin Green, top of your screen, spot shadow right there. Awfully quick off the football, this time in a stand-up position. Little outside moves, comes back inside, and Steve Young very fortunate there that he didn't injure a knee.
2 minutes left in the first quarter. Berline looking for Willie Green.
Color of money.
First down. Merton Hanks, Willie Green. Well, Merton doesn't like it. He says, hey, Willie, don't do that. Merton, don't do that. And they're in each other's face, Tom.
Yeah, and this would continue between the receivers and the DBs. Later on, Muhsin Muhammad and Marquez Pope, you're going to see them get into it. And look how physical the receivers of the Panthers get with the DBs of the San Francisco 49ers, and no defensive back likes to be put on his back like that.
Early in the second quarter, Berline again to Wesley Walls. The post pattern, he's right there. 17-0 Carolina. Mid-second quarter, the Panthers on the drive against Seifert squad again. And again, can you believe Muhammad giving it to the Pope? He's the greatest of all time. The next play. Marquez gets his revenge. Really the only foolish pass Berline threw in the first half. What a great first half he had. But that one, Pope intercepted, kept the damage at 17-0 first half. Under 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Steve Young. Now first he's pressured. Looks like good coverage downfield. But Derek LaVille slips in between everyone, and it's 44 yards for the touchdown.
Yeah, an obvious missed assignment. I thought the only one for the Panthers all day.
First touchdown pass in 21 quarters for Steve Young. It's 20-7. It's very late third quarter. The Panthers actually call a timeout. The Niners go for it on fourth down, but it's incomplete. To J.J. Stokes, it's incomplete. So now the first play of the fourth quarter, the Panthers take over, and the Niners back in business. Tim McDonald has the ball. E-I-E-I down to the 4. But there's a flag down.
Yeah, Tyrone Drakeford holding Muhammad right there. Didn't hold him very long, but the referee got a good look at it, made the call, bring the ball back, give it to the Panthers.
Panthers defense banged up. Eric Davis, the former Niner, now Panther, out. 5 minutes to go. Young figures he can pick on the new corners, but no. Brett Maxey, the veteran safety, picks it off. Had such a great year last year, and finally stiff arms Young as Young knocks him out of bounds. Folks, the Carolina Panthers are 10-9 in the 19 games they have played in the history of the franchise. They are 2-1 lifetime against the 49ers. They demolished them today, 23-7. John Casey added 3 field goals. All he is 13 for 13 on the season. Afterwards, Kevin Green, Super Bowl last year with the Steelers. Could he be Super Bowl this year with the Panthers?
You got to play with emotion. You cannot come into a game, a big game like this, and play flat. You got to be fired up. You got to be motivated. You got to be breathing hard, you know, and frothing. I mean, all that stuff goes into play.
We have to respect, because there were some comments that were made during the course of the week about things about us from their guys saying that they didn't really respect us that much. And this was a game about respect. We came out and we showed them, and now we're in control.
I think the Niners did respect him, first of all, and they sure do now. Second of all, Tommy, we didn't want to say there's no disrespect meant to the young quarterback, Kerry Collins, so we love the way he's developing step by step, and he certainly has the tools around him. But we thought maybe in this game, this early year 2 of his development, maybe Berline gave him a better chance to win. And after 17 of 20 in the first half, obviously, he gave him a great chance to win.
Well, it's a game where the San Francisco 49ers have such a great and outstanding run defense. You thought that the quarterback might be more of a key to winning this football game. But when you look at the overall game and the domination in every phase, and I'm talking about offense, defense, and special teams, you can see what the Carolina Panthers are able to do, and they even ran the football today. Steve Berline had the one bad throw for the INT. They had the one missed assignment defensively. They gave the touchdown to Lavelle. And I think the thing we have to keep reminding ourselves is this is the 19th game in the history of this franchise. They already have the 49ers number.
Unreal. I mean, they sacked Steve Young 4 times. They held him to 48 yards rushing. And for the first time in 10 games, the Niners gave up over 100 yards on the ground. I mean, it was a complete win by the Carolina Panthers, who now are in first place by their lonesome in the NFC West. As we go inside the numbers, first 5 games, remember last year for Carolina, they lost them all. They had some sacks, but no wins. Last 14 games in which they've gone 10-4, 42 sacks. That's 3 a game. Takeaways, 2.5 a game. You see the result. This defensive scheme won't go away, folks. Neither will the Panthers. When we return on NFL Primetime, talk about a team that won't go away. The Buffalo Bills line up someone else at quarterback, taking a second career start. Could they beat the champs? Broncos and Chiefs. You know it was hard hitting at Arrowhead. Just as that was a battle for the NFC West, here's a battle for the AFC West. Marty Schottenheimer, 6-11 lifetime against John Elway. That's his years as Cleveland coach and Kansas City coach. But at Arrowhead, the Chiefs haven't lost since '94 against the Broncos. But Terrell Davis wasn't there then. He's here now. Touchdown 7-0 B-Man. 7-3, 3rd and 7 at the Denver 27. Steve Bono hits Jack B. Nibble. Jack B. Quick hits Kimball Anders. He's a fine-looking fullback. Was a Pro Bowler last year. Down to the 28-yard line as he makes the move on Ray Crockett. That was a 45-yard pickup. Bono, Reggie Johnson, 15-yard gain. 2 plays later. I got you, babe. Steve Bono looking very sharp today. Danon Hughes, 8-yard touchdown, 10-7, the Chiefs. But the Broncos still come back. Less than 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. Terrell Davis. This is the longest touchdown run against the Chiefs in years, in 19 years. 65 yards, 14-10. Broncos.
Yeah, Terrell Davis surprisingly quick once he gets into and out of the hole. You see here Mark Collins on the chase. You expect him to outrun Mark Collins, but Dale Carty makes a nice move to slide a little bit to the left, and Dale doesn't catch him until he's in the end zone.
Davis, 130 yards in the first half alone, had 2 touchdowns. What could he do in the second half? Answer, not much. Joe Phillips, Dan Salimua smother him. Davis had only 11 yards rushing in the second half, so the game changing. Denver has to go to, who's this new guy, number 84 for Denver, Tom?
Sharp somebody.
Some Sharp, Shannon Sharp, a McGinty cousin. That sets up Jason Elam, doink! It's off the upright from 34 yards out. Marty Ottenheimer and the Chiefs still up 14-10. They still trail at 14-10, I should say. Less than 8 minutes to go. Marcus Allen up the middle for 13 yards. And then Tommy inside the 5.
The greatest inside the 5 runner in the history of this game.
Career touchdown number 128. Chiefs lead it 17-14, under 5 minutes to go. But John Elway has 6 fourth quarter or overtime game-winning drives against the Chiefs alone in his career. 3:50 to go. 3rd and 10 at the Denver 20. Here he comes. Elway, who struggled all day, hits sharp between defenders for 28 yards. But on the next play, he wants to go for it all, as he's done time and time again. Looking for Anthony Miller. Forgets underneath. Miller is blanketed, and it's picked off by Dale Carter. Tom, a poor choice?
Yeah, we take another look at it here. You see, coming out of the tight end position, Shannon Sharp, spot shadowed, middle of the field. We'll stop it for you. Take a look at him right there. Look how far he would have run had he caught the ball. Instead, John throws into double coverage, and Dale Carter makes the pick.
So that would be it for the Broncos, and the Kansas City Chiefs have never been 4-0 in franchise history. They've been around since 1960 when they were the Dallas Texans. They're 4-0 now. They beat the Broncos 17-14 despite a $141 for Terrell Davis. Steve Bono played a sharp game, and Tommy, he looked much better than John Elway today.
Well, first of all, you give the Chiefs a lot of credit for getting this win, an important win for them, keeping them undefeated. But it's ironic, we spoke this morning on Countdown about the supporting cast that's been put around John Elway that may give him a chance to get to the playoffs and beyond. Today, that supporting cast performed well, offense, defense, his wide receivers. Terrell Davis runs for well over 100 yards against a good, solid Kansas City Chief defense. John Elway had one of those days that he needs to put behind him. His timing was off, decision-making was off. Even the last play of the game, which I think typified the entire football game, he has Shannon Sharp wide open. He decides to throw down the field into double coverage.
Yeah, but they'll take 3-1 after 4 games. But the Chiefs certainly will take 4-0 after 4. That's even better than they did last year when they had the best record in the NFL of 13-3. When we return, more winless Seahawks and Bucks. Somebody had to win it at the sombrero. And more undefeated Vikings and Pack. Pack have always struggled up north. Would it be the same? It's like the cone of silence above us there with those 2 helmets. Well, as good as the Green Bay Packers have been in the Mike Holmgren era, and certainly as good as they've been this year, they had to win at Minnesota. Why do we say that? Holmgren 0-4 lifetime up at Minnesota in the Homer Dome. 13 turnovers the Packers committed in these 4 losses, allowing the Vikings to score 23 points. But this year, the Packers were different, aren't they? Or would it be deja vu all over again? And here we go. Cheeseheads. Hey, it's a border war. Wisconsin and Minnesota on the border. But it was still Viking fans who were loving Warren Moon to Kadri Ismail. But no, it's deflected into the hands of Eugene Robinson from
Hartford, Connecticut.
He returns it 29 yards, the former Seahawk, now making a mark in Green Bay. The Packers say this is the year we're forcing the turnovers, Warren. Brett Favre to Robert Brooks. It's a touchdown. And Brooks says, you know what, we're close to Lambeau. Let me go in the stands and see if I can find a Packer fan. But watch this. Get out of here, say the Viking fans. Whoa. Whoa. 7-0 the Pack. Next possession. Favre and Mike Holmgren looking for Robert Brooks. Robert Griffith off the hands, but look at the hustle of Brooks. Griffith could go all the way. Doink! It's out of the end zone. It's a touchback. What hustle by Robert Brooks.
What a great job of Brooks knocking this ball out and changing possession of this ball. Touchback Packers.
So the Packers retain possession 2 plays later. Antonio Freeman, but it's Orlando Thomas, strips him of the ball, and he recovers. The fight. The Packer turnover bug continues, and the Vikings capitalize. Moon. Plenty of time. He still throws the prettiest pass in football. Jake Reed, touchdown, tying at 7. Second quarter, Viking fans roaring. Favre under pressure from John Randall and Derek Alexander. It would be a theme. It's a fumble, and a man named Brady, Jeff Brady, recovers the ball. 3 plays later, the Packers have pushed them all the way back to the 20. But instead of continuing with the good D, they allow the missile. Warren Moon to Kadri Ismail, 20-yard touchdown. First time the Packers have trailed all year. Carter, what does he do? He just spikes touchdowns. Kadri caught it. 14-7 out of the bag. Packers respond. Down 17-7 in the third. Favre to Don Beebe. Watch the movie, makes on number 43, Orlando Thomas, and then beep, 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 beep. They make carry a one. The former Bill into the end zone. Touchdown. The Packers, whoops, trail it 17-14. Then, Packers defense making the big play. Moon looking for Amp Lee. But George Kuntz steps in front. What speed for a middle linebacker. He could go all the way. He tiptoes down the sideline, did not step out. 21-17 the Pack. There's my name. There's the ball. Reggie White, though, would go to the sidelines, and the Vikings and Dennis Green took advantage. Immediately, oh, Reggie's not there? Let's run there. And Robert Smith runs that direction.
Yeah, Robert Smith, great balance, and what a great call right where Reggie should have been.
24-21 Vikings. Late fourth. More Viking defense. John Randall, boy, is he giving this team fits. Hits him. Derek Alexander recovers. Favre harassed. The Vikes add a field goal. And Minnesota remains 5 for 5 against Mike Holmgren. And the bigger story, they're alone atop the NFC North, beating the Packers 30-21. And Tommy, again, 17 points off the turnovers today for Minnesota. Give them credit. Resilient. They've had the pressure, and they're quick. They're so quick. And you saw that today, Randall and company.
Yeah, I think we're seeing some of the young kids grow up. Orlando Thomas, Jeff Brady, Derek Alexander. These was guys last year who had a problem finding themselves on the football field. Now they're in their second year, their third year. These guys are becoming a cohesive unit defensively. The Green Bay Packers now have to start worrying about the kind of things that you do when you run the West Coast offense. How many shots is my quarterback taking? The 7 sacks, I don't think, speak to the number of knockdowns, the number of hurries, and the number of times that, in fact, Brett Favre just felt the physicalness of the defensive line of the Vikings.
Well, they had 7 sacks. Randall had 2. Harrison had 2. Tuala had 1. Everybody had 1. And again, it was the Vikings. And, last year they had a real bad fourth quarter, allowing the second most points of anyone in the fourth quarter. This year in the fourth quarter, they've outscored everybody 42-3. And that's why they're 4-0. They've won every game in the fourth quarter, and they've come from behind in all their wins. When we return, Lions, Tigers, Bears. Oh, my. Raiders, Chargers. Could the Raiders continue that one-game winning streak?
How would you like to have whiter teeth right now?
Right now? That'll be great.
Sure, I'd love whiter teeth.
Wouldn't everybody? Hi, I'm Erin Gray, and I'm here to tell you about Instant White. Just spray it on, and in less than 10 seconds, you're on your way to whiter teeth and a brighter smile. That's right, it's a spray. Just look at how well it works. You can really see the difference. No more gooey gels, no more goofy mouth trays. With Instant White, you just spray it on, and that's it. It even makes ugly stains disappear. Instant White has been proven both safe and effective. It really works.
Call now and you'll also get this travel size free. That's both sizes for only $19.95.
You'll love Instant White, so order now.
To order Instant White and receive the travel size absolutely free, call 1-800-516-9800 or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $4.50 for shipping and handling to the address below. But for faster service, call 1-800-516-9800.
In the middle of the night, many of us search for answers to life's questions. Is there a God? Am I loved? Why was I created? Did the Yankees beat the Twins? ESPN News Network, the 24-hour sports news network from ESPN. Who else?
The judge is back, and we have to judge Bears-Lions. Neither team wanted to go 1-3 here.
Yeah, and both quarterbacks have really been off the tough start. Scott Mitchell rewrote the Lions record book last season. Eric Kramer did the same thing in Chicago. But far different chapters so far for both quarterbacks. Mitchell is the 26th lowest rated QB in the league. Kramer is worse at 29th. Says Kramer, I just haven't done the job I was supposed to do this year. I have to play better. To the Silverdome. And Wayne Fonts trying to get his running game going early, but Barry Sanders here, no gain. Lions nothing on their first possession. Dave Wanstead, hey, I got Rashawn Salaam back from injury, his first appearance this year, but just 10 carries, 27 yards. Lions into the air, Scott Mitchell, Roland, Brett Perryman. Tommy, what do you have?
Well, great balance by Brett Perryman and body control here. Look at him make the catch, and look at him keep his feet right in. Great awareness of where he was on the football field.
And it sets it up on a 3rd and 6. Mitchell scrambling. And then hits Johnny Morton. 15 yards and a touchdown. 7-0 Lions. Mitchell awfully effective on the drive. On the ensuing kickoff, Jack Jackson. 2 Jacks, 2 names. Jack Jackson returning the kick. He's hit, he fumbles, and Detroit recovers the football. 3 plays later, it sets it up. Mitchell to Perryman, 2 yards. What a grab there. First touchdown catch of the year, and the Lions are up by the score, 14-0. Then Kramer to Curtis Conway in the game. Conway, 8 catches, 126 yards, and this 58-yard touchdown. So the Bears are down 14-10. As you see, Conway's first touchdown catch in his last 9 games. Bears threatening again. 4th and 5. They're going for it. Kramer, though, sacked by Henry Thomas, incoming. Lions take over. Next play for the Lions, in fact. Mitchell going deep. Johnny Morton, 62 yards. His second TD of the day. 21-10 in favor of the Lions. 1:41 to go in the half. But Chicago runs a 2-minute drill. Kramer hits the defensive tackle. Jim Flanagan, his 3rd career touchdown. Detroit up by 5 at the half. 3rd quarter, still a 5-point game. Mitchell on 3rd and 5, getting pressure, throws it up for grabs. And Morton somehow pulls it down. Look at the game for Morton. 7 catches, 174 yards. And how about Sanders? 66 yards in the game, 30 on this play alone. He went out at the 1-yard line, sets it up for Mitchell. 1 yard and a touchdown. Detroit's up 28-16. 4th quarter, it's still 28-16. And Mitchell hits Perryman. And the Lions go on to win by the final score of 35-16. So the Lions have won 5 of the last 6 between these two. They've won 9 straight at home. After beating Dallas in the season opener, Chicago's now lost 3 straight. Mitchell, a great game. 24-34, 336 yards, and 4 touchdowns. How about Seattle and the Bucs? They came in together in 1976. You see their record since. First quarter, Bucs up 3-zip. Rick Meyer, focused, hits Chris Warren on a screen for 12 yards, and that would lead to a field goal. Second quarter, still tied at 3. The Bucs are punting. John Lynch from Stanford University. Got to get that in there. John Lynch takes it. He's the up back, and he's going to go 40 yards.